Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in with a My Hero Academia video, this time asking the question, if Izuku because of some reason through some shenanigan ended up with a secret quirk or maybe a couple of secret quirks, what would those quirks be or what would that quirk be? This was a question that we had fun with during a live stream and I wanted to bring this to you. So here's how the video is going to work. You can already see my suggestions on the side of the video. We will go through that first and then I will show you a clip from the live stream of what me and a bunch of fans were thinking. There were some really cool ideas in there, and if you're willing to watch Pokemon in the background with some technical difficulties with the audio, then it'll be a fun time for you. Otherwise, you can just watch the first portion of the video. Anyway, without further ado, let's just jump into it. The first one that I wanted to talk to you guys about was Barrier. So the way I'm thinking of it is like this. One day, Izuku's just having a good time out with his buddies, and all of a sudden the Fire Nation attacks. There's just giant villains everywhere, everyone's fighting. Izuku can't get to his friends because he's too busy dealing with something else, but he wants to protect them, and then all of a sudden, a barrier pops up in response to his idea. I want them to be safe or something like that. The barrier would be pretty much like Bartolomeo from One Piece. You know, it just manifests a distance away from Izuku. Its strength could maybe be proportional to how strong Izuku is. Maybe if Izuku's using 100% One For All, this barrier is super strong. It'd be really cool because this quirk would pretty much give Izuku a way to protect people, not have to really worry about them because they could be safely encased in a barrier or something like that while he deals with bigger threats. It would be a very neat utility quirk, and I would be really interested to see how this could be added to One For All and how they could have good synergy. I also feel it'd be a relatively simple quirk that would be easy to execute on. The second quirk I thought of was Spider Sense, or pretty much Danger Sense. All that this one is meant to represent is that it is a sensory ability. Pretty much Izuku just has a better sense for when something is about to go terribly wrong. Now we know that Hero Academia author loves Spider-Man. I just feel like he's going to try and make Izuku more into Spider-Man in really stealth ways. And I think giving Izuku a danger sense would be one way of doing that. And also, this wouldn't really break Izuku. A sensory quirk would only really aid him in really situational kind of scenarios. So I don't think it would break the power scaling in Hero Academia. Next up is kinetic manipulation or energy manipulation or electrical manipulation. Pretty much this is the quirk that I thought of when I considered, well, Izuku, when he uses One For All, he has sparks going all around him. Meanwhile, All Might doesn't have any sparks. What is going on there? Why is their use of One For All so different? What is it about Izuku that makes his use different? And that's pretty much how I came up with the idea of energy manipulation. Pretty much Izuku, if we were to assume it's lightning, can shock people. It's another weapon in Izuku's arsenal. Maybe he could use it for long range attacks. It's a striking type ability. Maybe he manipulates the vital energy within him. It'd be an interesting quirk. And I think this would be one of the quirks that the author could use if he wanted to turn Hero Academia into a little bit of Dragon Ball Z. Just with Izuku firing giant beams of electricity at other people or energy in general. Because they're sparks, I want to assume it's electricity, but you know what they say about assuming? Sometimes you're wrong. Next up is a pretty simple quirk, flying. The ability to fly. Now, I know that All Might can pretty much just jump everywhere. I mean, he does it in the opening. He can jump everywhere, but I think a standard flying quirk would be pretty okay. A lot of Western heroes have flying as an innate ability, you know, Superman, Wonder Woman. I feel like it'd be fair to give Izuku this. And it wouldn't really break the game. I think even if you said that this thing could be powered up by One For All, it'd be a situation where Izuku just flies faster. I doubt Izuku will ever fly fast enough to be able to turn back time. But hey, it would be a classic power that I think Izuku could really get some use out of. Now, one stipulation there is that the main character of My Hero Academia's Vigilantes, he has a power that pretty much would allow him to fly. It is kind of interesting that if Izuku did have a flying quirk, it would kind of overlap with this character. But I think it would be fine. It'd be another point of commonality between the two characters. Next up is an interesting quirk that I did not come up with on my own. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly. But another commenter, I think Animamus, mentioned it, and I thought it was a really good idea. It is regen or regeneration. Pretty much it's a healing quirk. Now we know that healing quirks are really rare in the Hero Academia universe. I think there's Recovery Girl, and then one character that sort of had it in one of the recent movies. The second movie, and I think technically All For One also sort of has this quirk because he's still alive and all that. But yeah, no, regeneration. Now I'm not thinking that this is going to be a superpowered quirk. I'm thinking this is the type of quirk that would give Izuku extra legs to stand on. So pretty much if Izuku could only operate like 10 minutes under the effects of One For All 50%, then maybe this quirk makes it so Izuku can last 20 minutes. It's pretty much the kind of thing that it will try and heal Izuku, but it won't really fully fix him. It'll just give Izuku that little extra oomph. Maybe it'll fix those small fractures, but the point of the quirk would be that it can't repair Izuku at a fast enough rate to match with how much damage he is doing to his body. It just pretty much would make Izuku last in higher powered fights. The final quirk that I want to go through for my official picks is the limit quirk, or power limitation. Pretty much this is the quirk that I thought of when I saw how Izuku interacted with One For All. He deals a lot with controlling it, and I'm wondering, maybe there is something unique about Izuku that kind of does that kind of causes that to happen. And that's how I came upon power limiting. So the way that it would work that makes it a little bit more special is I'm envisioning it as something that allows Izuku to exert limitation on another person. So pretty much if you imagine Bakugo uses a giant explosion, but no, Izuku comes in and he limits the power of that explosion. So pretty much it's like if someone was running, Izuku could limit how fast they could go. It's a quirk that weakens other people by limiting their power output or their energy output. It would be interesting to see a main character force control or a limit onto another character. And for Izuku, it could be a way for him to deal with enemies that have higher explosive power that could take him out in one hit. With the way that I'm currently envisioning the limit quirk, with it making people slower or weaker or limiting how much damage they can do, I think it'd be interesting to see how that could interact with something like Shigaraki's decay. Maybe it would limit the rate of propagation of decay from Shigaraki. It's a pretty abstract quirk, but I think it would be really neat to see a main Shonen Jump character deal with such an abstract power. And it would put a nice little bow on Izuku's control arc when it came to One For All. Anyway, those are my main quirks that I've come up with that I'm pretty happy with. Let me know what you thought down below, and let me know what kind of quirks you would envision for Izuku if he were to have this mysterious secret quirk or other secret quirks for some weird reason. Let me know down below. Now, before I just end this portion of the video and send you into the live stream, I do just want to point out that there were other cool quirks that people came up with during the live stream in case you don't want to watch it, like Will-O-Wisp, or a combination of his mother and father's quirks. There was someone that suggested maybe Izuku can alter destiny, but that's not really fair because that's kind of just what main characters do in general. But yeah, there were a lot of really fun quirks, and I really want to say thank you to all the guys that were involved in the live stream, because you guys made it a really fun time. Anyway, that's it for this portion. I hope you enjoyed this half. If you don't want to deal with live stream, that's okay. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're heading into the clip from the live stream, well, thanks for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy the funny little things we were talking about. Like years, and that's what I'm doing. I'm talking about Izuku having a secret quirk for years, anime onlys. So don't worry, no spoilers. We're just theory crafting here, man. We're just theory crafting. Alright guys, so I'm thinking if Izuku has more secret quirks, or a secret quirk in general, I'm definitely thinking... Man, you guys are already getting ahead of me. Just give me a second, guys. I was being attacked by a bird. Okay, let's do that again. 1 second, I just need to set this up. So he probably got a quirk like his dad. You're saying the fire breathing? I think that's a good one. That's a good idea there. I want to go through... I'm going to go through all my crazy ideas here. And they're crazy ideas, guys. They're just crazy ideas. So, back to the quirks. One thing. I think I figured out. Izuku's, like, tears are legitimately that strong. When Izuku cries... First off, I want to just get this one out of the way. When Izuku cries, he cries with the strength of 8 people. That's why his tears break the ground. It's because it's an all-for-one powered cry. That boy could literally break walls with his tears because he's crying with the strength of 8 people. Like that makes sense to me. That's where it came from. What if Izuku's quirk is the ability to hold multiple quirks? So maybe he's related to All For One. I mean, yeah. And Hyrule, I am not stopping. I ain't stopping. I think that was a great idea. If we're talking about other quirks that Izuku could have, I think maybe a barrier quirk. If we're talking just like random quirks out there, I think a barrier quirk would be pretty cool. Because, you know, maybe Izuku is in a situation where he thinks, I need to protect them. And he makes a barrier. I think that would be pretty neat. So something like a barrier quirk I think would be pretty cool. You guys are coming up with some ideas. I'm gonna come up with more ideas as well. I want to come up with 6 quirks, so that's 1 quirk there. So I want to come up with 6 more quirks. Other quirk that I think would be possible, so that's a barrier quirk. That comes out of his desire to help people. I think another quirk would be maybe a sensory quirk. So maybe Izuku has like superhuman, he can sense things on a higher level. I'm kind of thinking like Spidey sense. I feel like the Hero Academia author wants Izuku to be more like Spider-Man. So pretty much he has a danger sense. He knows when things are about to go wrong. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. So it's like kind of like a divination type quirk. So let's call it Spider Sense. I would say that's Spider Sense. I think that would be really neat if Izuku had that kind of quirk. Let's see, more random quirks. I think another really interesting quirk for Izuku would be if he had a maybe energy manipulation. One for All produces sparks when Izuku's using it, and he's able to go Super Saiyan with it. So given that there's already sparks going on, maybe Izuku control like some kind of body electricity, or you know, some kind of vital energy, much like Nejire's quirk. Maybe he could control that. That would be pretty neat if he had that. Danger sense, yeah, no, like Master Gray's right, like danger sense. So I'm gonna say like that would be like the third quirk that he could potentially have. Definitely something that has to do with the sparks that go around his body. So let's call that like kinetic manipulation. Oh, Master 25 saying maybe Izuku's quirk is something that only works for other quirks, which is why he could never use it before All for One. Actually, Master, that makes a lot of sense. Saying that there's a quirk that only exists when someone has multiple other quirks, that makes a lot of sense. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Oh, Hyrule, maybe he has a whip, but it's black. Hyrule, I'm feeling that. I am really feeling that. You know, that would be a really crazy quirk. I don't know what the anime onlys would think about that, but yeah, that would be really crazy. You know what? I would say that the whip doesn't look like an actual whip, but I would say that maybe the whip looks like lightning, given that Izuku has all those sparks around him. That's how I would go about, you know, saying that one. Prower, do you have any ideas for a random quirk that Izuku could have? Oh, Sarge, you know what? You got to my next idea. Yeah, a supporter type quirk. Pretty much a quirk that makes other people more effective. So maybe like a cheering quirk, like something like Izuku's watching his friend fighting, and he wants to say something like, also guys, we're just grinding now because I'm kind of scared. Now we're like saying like Izuku sees Bakugo fighting and he can't get in the fight, and he wants Bakugo to be good and effective. So he like says, "Go Bakugo," and that like activates some kind of effect. We've seen that power before in anime. Like One Piece has a model of that power. So we could say that, yeah, maybe, definitely, Izuku could have a cheerleader quirk. So let's call it the cheerleader quirk. That would be pretty interesting, and I kind of like the synergy. I'm kind of feeling, I'm feeling that one. Like experience boost. Okay, so Master Gray is saying an experience boost quirk. You know what? I think that would be a really interesting, low level, maybe low generation type quirk. You know, if we were talking about quirks that came about like at the very beginning of the quirk apocalypse, I would definitely think that someone did have a experience boosting quirk, and maybe it showed up in Izuku somehow. I think that would be great. But going back to Will, I can't think of any quirks that are dead-end quirks that could work. I can't think of any like that. I'm really racking my brain here. A Will-O-Wisp quirk. Okay, so Animamus is coming in there, and he's going and combining, doing a perfect hybrid, attracting small objects, fire breathing, a Will-O-Wisp quirk. I like it. I think that's pretty good. I think that's really cool. I think you're onto something there, Animamus. But we have to ask, like, why didn't this come up earlier? But yeah, Will-O-Wisp. Okay, we're gonna write that down. I do like that idea. Now, man, I think Will is on the right track here with thinking about quirks that get empowered by One for All. I really do want to kind of figure out more of those ones out. And you guys are pointing out also maybe seeing the future. Yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows, right? Like, maybe Izuku didn't realize he was seeing the future. But still, I don't have many quirks here. I only have 4 for myself. The quirk to alter the future. Oh, Animamus, I feel like that's like kind of... I feel like that's so cheap, Animamus, you know? I'm feeling like that would be cheap. It would just kind of pretty much make it so that Izuku's altering reality to always win. And I don't know how that feels. That feels like something the author does. I don't want to believe that, you know, there would be the quirk to alter the future, but I do like that idea. You know what? I feel like your idea has more credence behind it, Animamus. Isn't One for All just a quirk that focuses on control, mainly controlling power and utilizing it in a way beneficial to user? Yes, Mario. One for All is a quirk that focuses a lot on control and on controlling the power that's been accumulated within the quirk. That is what One for All definitely does. It's just an issue of, you know, when it comes to talking about secret Izuku quirk, there's a lot of videos on YouTube about it because Izuku, people thought, was in the same situation as the One for All originator, who he had a quirk that people hadn't noticed. So people think like maybe people haven't noticed Izuku's quirk, and so because of that, we theorized that there might be a secret quirk hidden somewhere in there. Oh, are we going to bed tonight, Trip? Yeah, I should be going to bed tonight, but I want to finish up this conversation about the quirks. The power to push. He'd be able to push out of the way. Roddy, I think that's simple but effective. Simple but effective, Roddy. I am really feeling that one. One thing I'm thinking is maybe Izuku would get the quirk to fly. Or Kelda King saying he could have a quirk like the K. Barrier could be a barrier that only stayed on fingers. Oh, Will, that's a pretty good idea. Barrier could be a barrier that only stayed on fingers. 8 holders later, it's OP. So I got Barrier, Spider Sense, or Danger Sense, Kinetic Manipulation, Cheerleader. I feel like Flying is a good one. I feel like Flying would be a cool quirk if Izuku ended up having it, because it just make it more effective. What? I can't think of any other quirks, though. I just need to think of one more. I need to think of one more, and then I have a video that I can produce on the channel. Woo, well that is... Wow, you're still here. Great. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed that live stream portion. There were a few more ideas that I talked in there, so I hope you got some value out of that. Let me know if you actually made it through the live stream, because that means you are a brave person willing to deal with all kind of technical failures. Thank you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. That's it for me. I hope you have a great day.